Hey, so this week we made our way down to Atlanta to visit my grandfather for the 4th of July. My aunt, uncle, and cousins were going to be out of town at their lake house, and being that he's 91 years old, it's just a little bit too much for him to make it all the way out there. So we decided to come to Atlanta and visit him because we hadn't been able to see him since his 90th birthday just before COVID became a thing. Now, the trip down became a little bit more complicated when Christy had a medical event due to her dairy allergy.
Hey guys, so we are on our way to Georgia to see Chris's grandfather, and we were reminded of another reason, a very specific reason why bus life while traveling is very important for us. We stopped for lunch and grabbed Subway sandwiches, and I've never had an issue with their flatbreads before, but if I haven't mentioned it, I have a severe dairy allergy, and it causes my face to swell, it causes me to stop breathing, and dairy is literally hidden in everything, and if I don't specifically ask, I usually regret it. But it's so much better to be able to prepare my own food when traveling, since food on the road is very unpredictable for me. The flatbread that I had at Subway, the Subway employee didn't change her gloves in between preparing my food and the person in front of me. And then also I found out later that there is milk in the flatbread itself. So I am currently about to fall asleep because I had to take 2 Benadryl because I don't have an EpiPen yet. It's in the works, but at the moment, Benadryl is pretty much the only thing that I can take that will subside my symptoms. But as you can see, my face is all red, it's a little swollen. So I am about to go take a nap because there are allergens in literally everything, and if the bus had been done, this could have been avoided. But you know, Chris keeps getting injured and our build keeps getting delayed, but we are very excited to get back to work on the bus next week so that we can avoid situations like this.
I can't get a good. Hold on, this might be better. Gosh. Oh, is that good stuff? Pup cup. Pup cup for the squishy. Pup cup for the beanie. When it came time to book our hotel, we remembered Scott and Ash from the Hive Drive and the video they did on the Kimpton, Philadelphia. So we decided to book our 2 nights at the Kimpton Overland, which is just outside the Hartfield-Jacksonville Airport. There are planes that come in at all hours of the day, but they do a great job of soundproofing everything. So none of that was an issue for us. Because of my previous experience working in pyrotechnics, I was quite aware that you cannot launch any fireworks in the vicinity of an airport, so the location was absolutely perfect for us. Good morning. So we're just going to do a little quick tour around the hotel in the area we're staying. First of all, we are at the Kimpton Overland by Hartfield-Jacksonville Airport. So we've got planes going by all night long. They did a great job with the soundproofing, so you really don't hear it. Maddie did though, and all night long she was sticking her head right up to the window to try to spot the planes. Here we have the Kimpton Overland. Right up top there, you see it has that interesting roof line. There's actually a rooftop bar up there. We got here a little too late last night to explore it, but we plan on doing that tonight. You scroll across here, we've got the Porsche headquarters. And then, perfect timing, looks like another Southwest flight. Oh no, maybe a different airline. Delta. Delta's coming in now. It's been all Southwest for the last 20 minutes or so. Okay, so I talked about how we were right next to Porsche headquarters. Well, if you look down here, you can see a whole line of brand new Porsches and the start of their test track. Kinda cool. So we later found out after I talked to a maintenance guy taking the girls out for a walk that this is actually the Porsche Experience Center. You can rent out cars, take them out for a test drive, but in addition to doing that, it was also the inspiration for the Avengers headquarters in Avengers Endgame, which we thought was really cool because Christy and I are both huge Avengers fans. So before we went up to Peachtree City to visit my grandpa Bob, we stopped in Sonoya, Georgia. Sonoya was actually one of the last times I got to spend any significant time with my grandma Lo before she passed. I was down doing my southern tour where we spent a month on the road doing pyrotechnic shows back in 2015, and at that point I had a couple of days off, so I stopped in Peachtree City to visit my grandparents and aunt and uncle. And while I was there, my grandma Lo wanted to take me to Sonoya, which is the scene for Woodbury in The Walking Dead. She knew I was a huge fan, and honestly, it brought back a lot of memories for me. It was the first time Christy was able to visit, which was great for her. I got to tell her all about my grandma, and she got to learn about why I have this weird piece of artwork hanging in our dining room. It was actually by Eric Larson, the graphic designer from The Walking Dead, but I bought it during my last visit with my grandma Lo. Now, after we left Sonoya, we headed straight to Peachtree City to visit my grandpa Bob. We ended up spending almost 8 hours with him, and it wasn't until after we left we realized that though we had plans to do an interview for this video with him, we completely forgot. It was just such an enjoyable time sitting and talking with him that all we got were a couple of clips while he was in the other room of his dog Sammy. So on Sunday the 4th, we decided to just take some time to explore Atlanta. Christy's been down with me a couple of times for family events, but we've never really gotten a chance to just kind of explore and take the day for ourselves. So we wanted to take the opportunity to go and explore some of what Atlanta had to offer. We started with Buteco Coffee Bar. They had an absolutely amazing vegetarian breakfast. It was a turmeric spiced potato hash with some soft poached eggs, which was absolutely delicious and a great start to the day. Christy had been fighting a migraine all morning, so the coffee was definitely helpful for her. We took a little time to walk around this newly developing area, and definitely want to return and explore a bit more once we are finished with the bus. We then decided to head downtown. We had plans of going back to the Georgia Aquarium, where things were last normal for us. It was the last time before we made some decisions that drastically changed our lives and brought us down to New Jersey.
Hi guys, so we are at the World of Coca-Cola in Atlanta. You can see it in the background. This is one of the places that I specifically wanted to go to because the last time we were here, it was the day before kind of everything changed for us and our families. So we were last here December 2nd of 2019. We flew home that night, and I went to work the next day. It was in the middle of a snowstorm, so we went from weather like this to a huge snowstorm up in Maine. The next day I was shoveling out our driveway and I got a call from my mom, and she had told me that my dad had a major heart attack and that we needed to get to Manchester at that point. We spent about, a week or so in the hospital. Chris had decided that because of some actions by his work, based on how they treated him after my dad had the heart attack, that he was going to leave, and then we had a serious discussion about moving to New Jersey. Which is when we decided that our move was a definite, and we just needed to find a place to live. We went through the next 6 months without any issue, other than COVID hitting that March, and we moved April 1st to New Jersey in the middle of the pandemic. So we had one event, and then we had the second major event. That December, my uncle, actually my dad's brother, then also had a heart attack, almost exactly 1 year after my dad had a heart attack. And then not even a couple weeks later, my dad was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. So one of the reasons that I really wanted to stop here was to kind of make this full circle ideal, because this was the last place that we were before everything changed for us. The move, my dad's diagnosis, everything that's going on with my family, and we're hoping to kind of close this chapter where we started it and be able to move forward in the next chapter of our lives.
The last stop we wanted to make was to Centennial Park. Because my family is from just outside Atlanta, we all got the opportunity to go to the games during the '96 Olympics and just wanted an opportunity to revisit some of the sites. Okay, so not only does this place have a lot of symbolism for Christy, this has a lot of symbolism for me as well. The last time I was here at Centennial Park, actually specifically this end of the park, was 1996. So my family lives down here in Georgia, just south of Atlanta. And in '96, we all came to the Olympics. And the night of the bombing, we were all supposed to come here. Obviously, we didn't. We got lucky. We hadn't even left the house when the bombing occurred. So we avoided it altogether. And we did come back a few days later and get to experience it, but obviously it was not the same at all. So that night, because we were going to be leaving so early the next morning, we decided to pick up some vegan takeout. We found this amazing place called Good as Burgers. They had vegan sloppy joes, vegan hot dogs, vegan cheesy fries. It was absolutely perfect and beyond delicious. So Monday morning, we decided to hit the road nice and early at 3 a.m. because 5 a.m. really wasn't quite early enough on the way down to Atlanta. On the way up, we decided to stop for breakfast at Amelie's. It's this really cute French pastry place that Scott and Ash from Hive Drive had recommended we stop at on the way down. We just didn't have the time going down, but on the way back, we had just enough time to stop in there right when they opened. It's this really cute place in Charlotte. If you have a chance, be sure to check it out. I got the lavender latte while we were there. Christy got a regular latte with oat milk. And then we got some pastries and breakfast sandwiches. Christy ended up with the vegan creme brulee, while I ended up with the peach crumble tart and the peach croissant tart. For breakfast sandwiches, Christy got the vegan breakfast sandwich on a baguette, but she added an egg because eggs are not dairy, so she can have those. I got a croissant breakfast sandwich with turkey, brie, and tomato and egg. So once again, we really want to thank Ashley for the recommendation. We really appreciate it. It was the perfect stop for us on our way up. And if you're ever passing through Charlotte, they actually have 4 locations. Thank you for tuning into this week's episode. Because we had so much content to share from our trip to Atlanta, we actually didn't even get to our build for this week. So we will be having a bonus episode midweek this week. Tune in for that, and please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Have a great week.